Intro.
Hi everyone and welcome to another episode. Well, first of 2020, so it's a new decade.
Yeah, it is too. New decade, new Ask Jim.
There's a new Ask Jim, exactly right. We're up to episode number 46 in 2020 and the first one. Thanks to everyone who's already leaving comments and highs. It's great. Jim obviously appreciates it. So what we're going to do is try and provide as much value as we can with Ask Jim and try and rip through as much stuff. So make sure you leave a comment or question. Prizes tonight, we just want to actually let you know we've got the personal training vest here, which is actually pretty good. So I know it's summer, but for winter this would be great. And also Jim's Coblev delivery, a hoodie. So that's for winter time as well, so get prepared now. But these are really good exclusive prizes. You can't get them anywhere, you can't buy them online.
Absolutely.
So make sure you leave a good comment or question in there for Jim and we'll get them do. But let's start off with the somber note. Obviously we've got a lot of bushfires going on, which affects all fires just in general, affecting everyone.
What an absolute fiasco! This is incredibly bad. What's happening? 10 years ago we had the Black Saturday fires. They did a royal commission, and they said, okay, what you got to do? Is that we should burn all of our forests at least 5% per annum. And to keep the fuel load down. And what are we going to do? We're going to have another Royal Commission to give the same recommendation, go millions of dollars to lawyers to give the same recommendation, which we're not going to listen to. Because we just don't want to do it. There's too many greenies out there and people who are bleeding hearts and stuff. You can get actual... And the thing is, first of all, when you've got eucalyptus forest, they need to be burned. What people don't understand is that our landscape is not natural landscape. It never, ever has existed in the history of the world. 40,000 years ago, Australian vegetation was very different. It was more rainforest trees. Aboriginals came in and the native Australians that came in and changed the landscape to their liking. They frequent burning, creating forests, getting undergrowth. It's good, sort of mixed habitat, very good for that kind of lifestyle. Now what we've done since we've kicked the original inhabitants off the land is we just let it go wild, and it's a menace. It's killing people. It's destroying homes. It's destroying families. Destroying lives. It's just shocking. And one of the things we ought to do, first of all, we ought to be burning, cool burning when we can, consistently, and also what we ought to be doing is trying, where possible, to reintroduce the former vegetation, the pre-fire vegetation. One thing people don't realise is that Australia used to be a lot wetter country. And like 40,000 years ago, Lake Eyre was Lake Eyre is a salt pan surrounded by desert. It was a permanent lake surrounded by forest. What happened? All this burning, introducing the gum trees and so forth, bringing them in, is dried out the continent. Why don't we bring it back to that area? Why don't we let people take down the gum trees selectively and put beautiful native rainforest trees back, like the black wattles? I've got quite a few on my farm.
Yeah.
We could actually reduce the fire risk, and also by building the canopy, maintain the moisture and reduce the risk of drought as well as fire. We could do this. We just need a bit of common sense in government. We've just done a
big podcast on it. Yeah, it's got around an hour.
I'm going to keep on going on it for the next hour, but we just did a podcast which is released tomorrow. So have a look at that and see what you think.
Yeah, it goes for around an hour, and there's a lot of politics involved in there, and it's a bit back and forth. So definitely check that out. So I'm going to get through a lot of people leaving questions and comments, which is great. Everyone who's watching and leaving highs for Jim, I know Jim appreciates, and we welcome you back. And thanks for tuning in and asking Jim questions and comments, which I'm going to get through now. I've got a question on one of the other live feeds, which is a real quick one you can knock off. Brenton Stop goes, what's the initial outlay on a franchise, guys?
Oh, it depends on the franchise. Can be anything from 15 grand up to
120, depends. Could be depends.
Six figures. Most of them around about 30,000, 25, 30,000. That's pretty typical, including equipment.
That's it. Just let us know in there maybe what one you're interested in, and we can maybe give you a bit more of a rough 131546 or Jim's.
It is specific. They vary a lot, and also the amount of work available varies a lot in the equipment.
That's true. So Ryan Christophers, this is a new one. I like this question. I don't know if you'll know this. Hi Jim and Joel, Happy New Year to you both. Would like to ask, what are your views sending emojis while texting clients? Do you think it's part of friendly customer service or unprofessional to add a smiley faces to an SMS?
Yeah, well...
You know what emojis are? Those little emoji keyboards?
I know what they are. Okay,
I didn't know.
When people... I am, just because I'm 67, I mean, I say I haven't heard of an emoji.
We should have a gym emoji. Get a gym emoji going on.
I used to wonder when we're getting all these surveys back, which I always check out every day, their surveys. I see all these question marks. Why are people putting question marks? And I realise they're emojis. It doesn't translate.
The code. So what do you think about sending it to a client then?
Yeah, why not? I think emojis are nice. It's a bit of a communication. My family trying to get me on social media. I'm not very good at it. But,
I don't know. I sort of think maybe after that's your client. Maybe on the initial text you don't send an emoji, but after that interaction, maybe that's a smile.
I think it's a bit friendly.
It is
Sort of
friendly.
smiling. Don't send snarling emojis. That might get them upset.
But you do risk sending the angry one though. You can just slip over.
Ah!
Yeah, you can send the angry emojis, angry Jim emoji.
Hey, pay me or else.
Yeah, you might
I'll
do that.
stick my emoji on you.
Well, there you go, Ryan. You can do chasing up bills. You can put angry fire, angry faces.
Yeah, clients get
emojis.
annoyed at the Suns for chasing. They can send a complaint because somebody's chasing money. And they'll pay the bloody bill. Then he won't chase you anymore. We'd have no sympathy. That's one complaint I'm going to take off straight away. You're chasing money, you deserve to get paid. I've got no sympathy for deadbeat clients.
That's a good question, Ryan. We've never had that one before. It's quite interesting.
It is.
We've got a few people saying happy decade and stuff, which is great. And Eric's gone, hey guys, great to have you back. I can now get my routine back. It felt like a month.
Well,
it was only 2 weeks.
Thank you for that, yes.
Because Eric's got his fish and chips routine, I think, on a Wednesday night, and he watches this as well. Someone goes, I haven't seen an arse gym since last decade. That's very, very true.
Yes, that's right.
It's been very, very wild. Okay, someone said they love the intro. The boys are working hard, and Jim even laughed at the intro himself, so well done to the boys. Here's a question from Jesse Bohr. Hi, Jim. What about a Jim's Loans, a place where young entrepreneurs can borrow money that other banks won't lend?
We have Jim's Finance, but you've got to get the money from somewhere. Frankly, I don't have that much of it, so you can't
Yeah,
borrow
well,
it from
maybe
me.
singing you're the bank then for entrepreneurs. You've got to fund them like a Shark
People
Tank
have this
type thing, right?
exaggerated sense of how much
Yeah.
money I'm supposed to have. They think that we're turning over the best part of $1 billion a year. Hey, it all comes to me. No, it doesn't. I get a little tiny fraction of it. I'm a lot more famous than I'm rich. So
I was going to say, if you're well married up with the brand
we do have Jim's Finance, if anybody's
We do?
interested in that, and we do quite a lot of loans to franchisees out of Jim's Finance. But
Yeah.
someone's got to provide the money. It's not me.
Now, Dion Henderson's gone here. Hi, Jim. Are you going to donate to the fire appeal as there are lots of franchisees and franchisors affected and have lost everything? And that's very true.
Not personally, though. We're working with people who are doing it, encouraging it and so forth. I have a personal project that's spending $1 million a year on treatment of mental illness, looking at the basic root causes of mental illness, and put a huge amount of resources into it. I think the fire is great. I mean, it's a great things to do, but I think you focus on the things where you believe you can do the most good.
Well, I know a lot of Dion, a lot of staff. He obviously donated. A lot of franchisees are donating from other states, and what they do is, I know Eric sent me something today. Eric Jurgens, who's from Mobile Cafe, about it. Something they can help out in the community. So anything that people are doing, please share it with video@jims.net or video at jims.net or social media at jims.net, and I'll share it. And we'll do
applaud how many
we
of our franchisees are helping out. They're contributing money, their time, they're firefighters, and we've encouraged franchisors to suspend fees if they're not fighting fires. A lot of our guys are doing fantastic things, but I think you got to follow where your heart is, and I'm a great believer that you look at where you can best spend your resources, and I don't think adapting to the cause of the minute is the best way to do it. You've got to have a long-term project. Mental illness, I mean, I know it's not fashionable this week, but we're going to still have people committing suicide and suffering terribly from depression in 6 months when the fires are in the background. And that causes a lot more deaths and a lot more suffering than fires. Mental illness is a really, really, really terrible problem. It's a blight. The amount of hurt that it causes is unbelievable. That is my priority, and that's what I've decided. That's what I believe God's called me to work on, and that's what we focus on.
But there's a heap of franchisees and Zors, as I said, doing stuff. I know Skip Bins the other day shared with me something, and we posted it straight away. Within a day, 5 franchisees have raised $1,000 and all that sort of stuff. There's heaps of people doing stuff, so please let us know so we can share and hopefully get some more traction for donations. So let's keep going down the feeds here. All right. So that's not a bad question there, Dion, and thanks for that answer there, Jim. Someone's saying Jim's Finance already exists. Absolutely, it does. Jason Pollock says he's happy to see the live event continuing in 2020, and we are as well. Let us know any thoughts and comments on how to improve the show. All right, here we go. Taylor Downs, this is a good one. Hey, Jim, I just want to know what is your favourite planet is and why? Planet.
Well, Earth. I mean, what's your comparison? I mean, you're going to tell me Venus is better?
Well, some people might say you're from Mars, Jim. You don't know.
Well, I think going to Mars is a great idea, but I reckon I got a choice. I mean, the weather's a bit more clement here than in Mars. I mean, going to Mars is exciting. I think it's a great idea. I think what Elon Musk is planning is fantastic. But I mean, jeepers creepers. I mean, they've done a lot of. I think one of the most exciting things in science is this business about exoplanets. I mean, until like a decade ago, planets from out, they were all science fiction. We didn't even know for sure they had any.
That's true.
And now we've got hundreds of them, and they're finding more all the time, and they're working out whether they've got water and all kinds of stuff. I think that's incredibly exciting. I'd love the idea of sending a probe out, a little tiny probe, and use a laser to accelerate. We can get to Proxima Centauri in a few decades.
Well, do you think there is life on other planets?
Oh yeah, it has to be.
That's good.
How could there be? I mean, there's so many trillions and trillions of suns in the universe. I mean, there must be life all over the place.
I agree with you. That's a great question. I really like that one. He said,
I like that one.
He says, if you can live on any planet, which one would that be? Obviously, I think Earth was your answer. So there we go. All right, here we go.
But Mars is second. Mars is second.
Some people might say you're from Mars, though, Jim.
I think a lot of people say I'm from Mars, including me.
Jasper Marriott's gone, hi Jim, how has the summer affected Jim's mowing, especially with the water restrictions? Good question.
It's been pretty bad actually. Not affected in Melbourne so much, but I know up in New South Wales in places, especially Western New South Wales, they've really suffered.
Northern Vic as well, there's been some stuff there.
It's
a constant thing.
It's pretty sad. I know some of the franchisors have actually asked to reduce their franchise fees by 25% to help them through the crisis.
Yes.
And we're trying to help them to understand things they can do. I mean, I started my whole business back in 1982 in the worst drought in Melbourne history. And I was flat out, but I just did everything else. I didn't mow lawns, but I weeded gardens, I did watering, which you could do by hand, and cleared blackberries and all kinds of fun stuff. There's always stuff to do. So we need to work on that and help people to get through the hard times. Yeah. I mean, we're very concerned about all Australians, but Jim's is like a family in a way. So we're especially concerned with our own people.
Yeah, it's always a top. The drought's always up. There's depending on the state, could be WA, could be Queensland, could be New South Wales, could be Vic. It always does affect.
People are spoilt these days. Their work is so much easier to find than it was back 30 years ago. It's really, really easy to find work. 28% of our leads are unserviced these days, including a lot of mowing. There's a lot of work around. It gets worse, you might say.
Yeah.
Well, better in a way. There's more work, but more unserviced work with time. It's a big problem.
That's true. Cindy Chambers gone with a comment, Jim, thank you for your research on mental illness. My investment as a franchisee, I have a goal to help others too.
Yes,
which is great.
That's great. I think it's wonderful the way that so many franchisees have gotten behind this, and many of our franchisees are acting as mentors to people. They've volunteered. When I went over to Perth a year before last, where that terrible thing happened, when that franchisee killed his little girls and his wife, which is just awful. I had a meeting there with most of the franchisees in the state, and we asked who would volunteer to be a mentor to franchisees in need, and more than half the people there put up their hands. And I thought that was fantastic, to help each other without any payment, without any reward, except wanting to help others. And I think, look, fires are terrible, and I don't want to put that down, but let's not forget that the suffering from mental illness is a shocker. It's appalling. We've got some really, really great experiments going in the next couple of months to do with the use of pheromones we think can be very, very, very helpful. There's some initial work on rats, which has been very promising, and I'm really hopeful that we'll have something later this year that can be used for some initial human trials.
Yeah, we're not, and the Bushfire podcast I think comes out tomorrow, which will be quite interesting. But obviously, mental health, obviously post bushfires, a lot of people have a lot of stress and trauma as well. It's a dramatic thing. That's
really,
going on.
Firefighters. We consider them as heroes, but some of them have got real post-traumatic problems because it's terrible the things they see. And I revere them as well, but.
We've got many franchisees who are in the country fire authority or helping out the fire brigade, New South Wales, Queensland, Vic. There's a lot of franchisees doing it.
Look, they're great people, and these ones, people who die as helping to fight fires it's amazing.
Let's hope some action can be taken post this. I know we're talking about the commission into Black Saturday 10 years ago. You were telling me before. Yeah. About that sort of stuff,
and they make a thing, and then you pay $millions to lawyers to give you recommendations, and we don't
get
follow
implemented.
them. It's just garbage. People who want to protect their houses and their homes, and they try and cut down some gum trees, plant other trees in place, not trying to get rid of the vegetation, and they get massive fines from the government. How insane is that?
Well, let's hope.
And then their house burns down. So who's going to compensate them for the idiotic government policies, which says you've got to have a gum tree is fantastic. I love gum trees. They're great. But let's face it, they're balls of
highly flammable, right?
They're Roman candles.
Yeah.
You set fire to a gum tree, whoosh, like that.
Yeah.
It just goes up it explodes.
That's true.
It is full of oil. They're very dangerous trees around houses and stuff. Well, you should be prepared to look. There's beautiful, magnificent native trees that don't burn so easily. Why don't we just push our way towards them? And it's got great advantages too, because they hold the moisture. They're better for diversity, biological diversity. They support a greater community of animals and birds. But there are many advantages. They store more carbon. They put carbon into the soil. They're very good for the environment. Let's look at some creative solutions instead of just lauding the firefighters and yeah.
So listen to the podcast. Sorry to cut you off because we covered this good podcast tomorrow, which will drop as a video version for 1 hour as well.
I get in the high horse.
And we've got 65 people tuning in now, which is great. So thank you for tuning in into the first Ask Jim of this decade, which David McDonald nicely pointed out. So Joel Ryan's gone, hi Jim and Joel. I'm a franchisee in Canberra for Mowing, and I've been helping out in the fires.
Good on you.
Members of the RFS
Great.
in New
Well
South
done.
Wales. And my franchisor has been a fantastic. Big shout out to Mike and Jason. So it'd be Mike Davenport and I think Jason, is it Mike Davenport up there? And Jason.
Southern New South Wales, yeah.
So thanks for that, Joel. And
I know the franchisors have been great. They've backed our franchisees all the way. Anybody who's working in this area really wants to help them out.
And I think Australians per capita the most charitable people in the world anyway.
Yeah.
So
it brings out the best in us.
It does. Yeah, I think that's why the food donations had to stop so quick because when they called for food and water, they got so much it was taking away resources, so they had to unload it from the.
Absolutely flooded. Yeah, they need money.
And also, I'll say post the fires will be going. I'm hopefully not going for a while, but post that those tourist towns who were affected, drive out there and go there. I know online, I think Eric shared with me some virtual shop where you can buy a coffee for someone in those areas from those shops, which helps them as well, which is a great idea. All right, Seamus Keogh has gone with the question here, Kosh. G'day, Jim. Did you start the gym business as a sole trader or a partnership? We haven't had that one before. It sounds like a
sole trader.
Sole trader.
Who's want to go into business with me? I was a student mowing lawns to make extra money and get outside and enjoy myself during my off time and studies and stuff. And then I just.
It's a great question, Seamus.
Never had a partner except my wife is my partner.
That's true. So make sure you leave a question or comment, guys. And as I said, next week we're going to have some massive prizes on Ask Jim. Hopefully we're going to. But there are going to be some huge ones.
We've asked our committee to approve some really nice prizes.
And I'm talking big, like they're decent prizes. Yeah, and they will be awarded based on comments and questions.
Not some crummy book, which is written by someone you never heard of, which is me, of course.
But we also have some merch here as well, which is going to be on today. So Sean Daly's gone, Jim's emojis. Yeah, if we get emojis, that'd be great. Frank's gone, Joel.
Jim's emojis.
A Jim emoji.
What's a Jim emoji? A beard and a hat.
I don't know how you get it.
Or something like
you have to get it submitted to the emoji keyboard. I don't know how you could do it. I think there's a bit of.
I don't know how.
I don't know. Emoji keyboard. If we could do it, Frank,
I would think I'll make a good
emoji.
I mean, look at.
No, like the Jim's icon. That behind me there. That one would be good emoji. The hat with the little beard. There might be a man in there already.
I wonder what it means though.
Yeah.
What is the Jim emoji?
Hard-working Australian. That's what it means. Iconic, hard-working Australian.
Very fat, overweight Australian.
No, we'll just use the head on it. Oh, that's it. All right. So Taylor Down's gone, Jim, I love you. I'm sure Jim. All right. So Frank's gone in. Jim's Home Fresh is working on.
Unfortunately, that's not my case with women in the past, apart from my wife, of course.
So Frank's gone here. Jim's Home Fresh is working on a $20 donation per order on a minimum spend to help the cause, which is great. Frank, I'm sure lots of people.
They do great too. We have deliveries to our office every week. We have 2 boxes for our staff, and there's one goes to the call centre. It's fantastic stuff. Now we're trying to wean them off all these chocolates and sweets by having fruit around, which is great. Fresh fruit is fantastic.
Now Gold Coast Aviation, that's a nice unique name. Gold Coast Aviation's gone, hey Jim, what is your favourite Jim's franchise? We've had that before.
Well, come on. I mean, I'm a mowing contractor. I love lawn mowing. I do. Look at my hands. They're all full of calluses and stuff. So I'm working on my farm at the weekend. It's not a fair question, is it? Come on.
We'll get to
if I was a dog lover, I'd say dog washer. And if I was love cars, I'd say, well, I'm not. I'm a mower. I'm a gardening
Jim's
contractor.
HQ answer is he likes them all. That's the corporate spokesperson answer. You like them all. We love them all.
How wimpy can you get? You've got to have preferences. Come on. Actually, look, when somebody comes to me and says, what franchise should I be in? Yep. And I say, well, what do you like doing?
That's always the answer.
I said there's the hate our own cleaning. I said, who would want to go out and go inside and work inside all day and never go outside, never see the fresh air except going from... I said, who would want that when you could be out in the grass and the trees and the sunshine? He said, yeah, but you're going to get rained on, it's going to get stinking hot and stuff. Inside, nice.
Oh, grass clippings on you everywhere?
Yeah. So
dog poo?
Cleaner, it's much better. He says, that's how he sees it.
That's right.
He thinks cleaning is better. And Haydar was a cleaner when he came to us. When he started,
true.
He was cleaning houses. He was by himself.
Yep.
He's now got this...
Massive empire.
That's
right. So Christopher Temby's gone, Jim, what are your thoughts on the current Iranian crisis? That's a unique and that's a good question, that one.
Very, very nasty stuff. Very dangerous. I mean, this, you get clickbait things saying World War III has already started. I mean, they're not going to take on the US straight away because the US would just stop them like a... But the danger of terrorist strikes is very, very real. And what people don't realise too is that these, what do you call asymmetric things, are incredibly dangerous these days, and more dangerous with time. There are things that people can do relatively poorly which could be devastating to a country like the US or Australia. For example, a biological weapon.
Yeah, it could be very...
It's called the poor man's atom bomb. Now, it's not that difficult to genetically engineer things these days. This is very wide technology. It's more widespread than nuclear technology and easier to do and cheaper. And you get some genetically engineered virus or bacteria or something like that, and you just spray it across some country and 10% of people are sick, you would just completely kill them. And then I'm reading a book called 0 Day Code, which is about a attack by certain other powers on the IT infrastructure. Like doing things like sending out Facebook reports that said that the banks were closing down and so forth, and then people had run on banks, and that caused a crisis, and then hitting the food distributors, and you got chaos.
You can manipulate online markets, online channels very easily.
That's
definitely.
Right. And then there's EMPs, which is even worse, where you crack all the computers, I mean, 80% of the population would die. The world is a lot more dangerous than people think. And one thing I would say to anybody, really, you get insurance against fire, which is good, and it gets your fires burning down, those kind of things. What about insuring your family's life? And it's quite simple. The things you can do is like 12 months food storage. Well, what about a backyard veggie garden, which used to be the case? And grow a little bit of your own food. It's fun. It's good exercise. You get outside. You enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
So there's a lot more we could do. The Mormons have this 1 year thing, which is fantastic. You just simply buy your food a year in advance, which is actually cheaper because you tend to buy in bulk.
They buy a year in advance?
They're all recommended to do that, yeah.
Did Joseph Smith tell them that on the golden tablets?
Mormons are very practical people. I used to be in the Mormons.
I know. I'm just making fun.
Very weird.
Have you seen the Book of Mormon?
Yeah, I've read it.
Did you like it? Come on.
Well, it's not very good history. You got to. I mean, we know perfectly well that the Native Americans came through Siberia. They didn't come from Jews from Israel in 600 BC. So, I mean, it's obviously not very good history. But I mean, as a church, it's fantastic. They have great values, great community support, and a lot of very sensible policies. And we can learn a lot from them. Actually, I wish there was a mainstream Christian church which would be more sensitive to my beliefs and have some of the discipline and structure the Mormons have. They're very good. I still actually keep the word of wisdom, tea, coffee, alcohol, tobacco and stuff like that.
The word of wisdom?
Yeah, that's what it's called.
Really?
You're not supposed to have tea, coffee, alcohol, tobacco. And
that's boring. That's no fun. That's no fun at all. No way.
Well,
type of thing
first of all, tea and coffee is absolutely disgusting. I think it
disagree big time. I'll have a latte in the morning.
It is vile stuff.
What about mobile coffee?
I don't know.
Mobile cafe.
You get chocolate.
Good chocolate.
You don't have to have coffee. Look, I cannot understand anybody who likes coffee. It's really vile stuff.
I love Jim's Mobile Cafe, Eric.
As for smoking, what more do I need to say?
That's smoking, I agree.
Yeah, that's right.
Alcohol, completely disagree. Alcohol makes things a lot more fun.
Nah. Alcohol is horrible stuff. It is dangerous. It is awful. It is something that kills other people as well as yourself.
Make sure you drink responsibly.
And the only thing I ever would refuse to do, they used to say that drinking a glass of red wine a day might give you a longer life. Well, they've since discovered it might reduce your risk of heart attack, but it might give you cancer. So there you are. There is no health benefits to alcohol at all, and if you have more than about one drink a day, which I'm sure you do.
That's how half the people meet their wives, though, Jim. Without alcohol, there wouldn't be a lot of single fellas running around right now. Absolutely. It goes both ways.
Well, what about you? You haven't got a wife. You don't even tend to get married. So what are you talking about?
I'm too ugly, Jim. I struggle, Jim. I can't get a date.
No, you know what?
I need Jim done. I need Jim online. I need Jim's dating service.
This is a man whore. He goes off to different countries. He goes off all over the world doing all this stuff. He's known in the office.
Oh, known in the office, right?
He is famous.
I'm famous in the office.
A resident man whore. Talking about how you attract a wife. I don't think you're anybody to speak about it.
That's probably pretty true. I go to Thailand to look at the temples. I go to South America to take in the culture and practice my Spanish.
That's right. It's all cultural.
It's all cultural.
I'm quite sure.
Cultural research.
There's nothing else to it. Absolutely nothing.
Just want to grow as a person.
I just
from
think
life
doing it in the
experience
temples is pretty bad, though. I think you should stick to your
No. I take some Instagram at the temples. That's all it is for Instagram holidays. Jim. Nothing else. I struggle. I need Jim's dating service. Jim's matchmaker. That would do. We'll keep going down here. It's a lot of questions.
Look, given my appalling history of having 3 divorces, I don't think I'm the person to advise anything on anybody. I just got it right this time. I think I just happened to meet the perfect woman.
No, you've done well.
Just lucky.
We'll keep going. There's a lot of questions and comments coming in, which is great. Taylor Down's gone. This is a new one. We haven't had this. Do you like the way Elon Musk's Tesla brand is going with the Cybertruck? Did you see that ugly truck they brought out? And the guy went to say it's got shatterproof glass and threw a brick at it, and the brick went through the window. Yeah. Have you seen that?
That wasn't one of the best PR stunts of all time.
Well, you think you'd test it first, but what about the design of it? Have you seen the design of it? It's like an I don't know, a sausage triangle or whatever it is. Have you seen that truck?
I heard about that particular.
Jim's going to look at it after this.
I don't watch your social media.
We're going to look at it up. We'll show him after this there, but that's a great one. So we've got another question from another person on another one, which is Jay Wagner. As a tree climber, it's hard to be productive in this heat. We are having to finish early to get through a full week.
Absolutely right.
This is the hottest summer I've had here in Oz in 12 years. Do you think the temperature will continue to rise?
Well,
Very well thought out.
Well, of course it will. Of course it will. I mean, global warming's real. There's no doubt about it. I think. I mean, the Earth is getting hotter, and it's a dangerous thing. I think that blaming the fires on global warming as if it's the main cause. It's probably about 1% of the cause. The other 99% is our stupid policies, like the way we control our forests and so forth.
Yes.
But I mean, yeah, it's a problem, and it's getting hotter. And I don't like the heat either. Actually, I prefer the winter than the summer.
And we did a whole podcast video with that about global warming. Remember, the environmental. Right. That was
that's
on
right.
the YouTube and on the podcast as well.
We ought to be taking action, and we ought to be doing some fairly serious stuff. And there's some good things that could be done, like carbon taxes. I mean, you got to see the podcast. I mean,
that's true. So there's a lot of people tuning in, leaving a lot of questions and comments, which is great. We need to
but working in the heat's a problem. One guy I was talking to in Queensland who said he has a great business where he actually knocks off work at 12 o'clock every day, Monday to Thursday, and he makes himself this incredible income.
That's good. Well, good on him.
Yeah.
Make sure you stay hydrated as well. That's the main thing. If you feel lightheaded, take a break.
I used to work through 40+ degree heat when I was mowing lawns, and I would just take a bottle of Solo, just a big one like that. Yeah. And which is a bit warmer for a while, of course. And you just drink it and you keep hydrated.
Get a little sugar in it, yeah.
And I wouldn't eat much during the day, and you slow down a bit, but you could keep working. The good thing about the heat in Melbourne though is it's when it gets very hot, it's dry. You get these dry northerlies.
Yes.
I could not work in Queensland or Northern Territory. I could not.
That's true.
The humidity is be horrible.
But there's a lot of people...
I take my hat off to those guys who can, but I couldn't do it.
Well, that's a great question, Jay.
There's nothing wrong with Queensland that wouldn't be solved by moving it at least 1,000 k's closer to the South Pole. I often say that.
I don't think they want to come down to Mexico, Jim. That's what they'll probably say out there. All right, we'll keep going. There's a lot of comments and questions. Make sure you smash the like button and share this feed or comment. It'd be great. Sean Daly's gone, since you touched on having certain trees in areas to help with the fire management,
yes.
Would that suggest you may run for agriculture minister type role? Would you run for an agricultural minister type role from Sean Daly?
Hey, listen, if you're watching this, you should know that I am not politically correct. I will say what I think. I'd make the worst politician on record. I don't think anybody would get less votes than me if I was standing for office. Seriously, I mean, you've got to admit.
And Andrew Rossiter has gone, can local franchisees come for dinner with Jim?
Local franchisees?
Yeah, can a local existing franchisee come for a dinner with you? I say maybe during the training week, right? That'd be the time, wouldn't it?
Yeah, Come in. I'd love to see you.
During the training week...
Just come in during training week. You can pay, I don't know, $25 or something, have a meal.
The next training is on the...
Next week.
Next week.
It's next week.
So Monday, come through that. Come to that
week.
We'd
love to have you come in. When we have the training, I try to sit down and eat with every table if I can. Sometimes people get impatient and go away before I can get to them. But I try and meet every trainee, every prospect face to face, because if I met them, there's more chance I think they'll contact me if they need to.
So the answer is yes. So it's next week, the training.
Yes, love to see you.
What time is the dinner normally? 7? 6:30 or 6?
No, I think it starts at 6 actually. I'm sure
6. 6. Okay. So you can do that, Andrew. Make sure you come to 6 to Foothills Conference Centre, 48. Well, you did your training. Obviously, you're franchisee. You've been here.
You know.
All right, Eric's going here with the question.
And the food's pretty good, as you know.
Eric's going with the question. Jim, politics aside, do you have an opinion?
Which Eric is this?
Eric Jurgens.
Eric.
The one you said you don't like coffee. I love coffee.
Well, but come on, Eric. Your hot chocolate is fantastic. I'm not going to drink your coffee, but your hot chocolate is great.
And someone real quickly has gone, I just want to get this one before I get to yours, Eric. One quickly, Anna Farr just gone, hi Jim, when can I get a copy of your books? I'm from Christchurch, just wondered if they have them over here or through Jim's. Thanks, hope and had a good Christmas and New Year's. They're on Jim's.net, Anna.
Yeah.
Under Meet Jim tab, you can get Jim's books
this book
for
here,
free.
you can just download it.
Audio book version 2.
PDF.
That one you have to buy though online, unfortunately.
That's right.
That's by Amazon or whatever.
It's done by the publisher.
But that one there for free online is
it's also pretty cheap from Amazon too. And there's an audio version which is even better because I love audio books. True. It's fantastic.
So let's get to Eric's question because he's a law viewer. Jim, politics aside, do you have an opinion on how Scott Morrison has been perceived and how he has handled the bushfire crisis? I'd like to know your opinion, Eric. Put that in the comments.
Well,
we had a big argument about this.
going to Hawaii and playing cricket wasn't the smartest thing to do, but I know we had arguments about
Poor
this.
leadership, Eric.
No, not poor leadership.
Poor
Just
leadership.
poor politics.
No.
Just
Poor
the
leadership.
wrong gesture.
Nah, poor leadership.
I mean, goodness gracious, the poor so-and-so is...
He's in Waikiki Beach with Diamond Head in the background, all this stuff.
I know,
Get out of there and go back.
He was not ideal. He wasn't ideal. I think he's a good guy, though. I really do.
Oh,
I like him. I love what Tony Abbott's doing. They spotted him. Actually going and fighting fires.
Abbott's actually
anonymously.
Abbott's, definitely in there in New South
man.
Wales.
He really stuffed up as Prime Minister. He didn't listen to people enough, but he's a very good man.
Well, you can buy Scott Morrison Hawaiian shirts with Scott Morrison, and all proceeds go to the fires. So you can get them online from Mr.
I like old ScoMo. I think he's good. I think he's doing a fine job. He's going to get voted out the next election because Australians will not tolerate having the same party in power for more than 3 terms. But I think he's doing.
I think Scotty in marketing's been really ill-advised by multiple people.
Yeah, we can always make mistakes.
Can't drive out to towns with 6...
That's why you've got professional politicians, because politics these days is the art of speaking for 1,000 hours and never saying anything that can be taken out of context, even 1 minute. How difficult is that? What a terrible, difficult job is that?
Well,
and we complain about them being bland marshmallows and stuff, but how can they be anything else when anything they do and say can be taken wrongly?
That's
true.
I mean,
it's so difficult.
You should have handled it a bit
That's
better.
why I would never be a politician. I just would never make it. I can't shut up.
Well, I don't know how you go on question time. Question time would be a ripper with you, I reckon.
Yeah, I think I'd get expelled from the party if I managed to get elected.
See Clive Palmer asleep in the Senate, just chuck that at his head and wake him up.
I don't know how you can agree with anybody too. I mean, you've got to be part of a party of some kind, but I'm not going to say I agree with everything.
What about the Jim's party?
Liberal Party
just Jim's party goes an independent.
Yeah, well, that's what you probably would do if you're going to. I have thought of standing for the Senate.
You have? Oh, okay.
I have. Right. I still don't think anybody would vote for me.
So here we go. You ran us gone. Jim, I recall you offered your premises for caravan storage after the 2009 fires. Do you plan to offer this community support such as this or something similar again?
Yeah, sure, of course.
So the answer is sure.
We've got very good, we've got more car parks because this place used to be university. So
True.
If people want to store their caravans or anything here, we'd be very happy to help out in any way. We always do. When the school across the road has Road to Bethlehem, they always use our place as a car park. So anybody around needs a car park.
So what's the best way for them to contact and arrange that? Who should they email?
Oh, just Jim@jims.net.
So Jim@jims.net. If you want to do that, you can take Jim up on the offer and do that what you did in the 2009 fires. All right, so Taylor's going with another question here, a comment. Leave your question or comment, guys. As you can see, we're getting through them really quickly. We're not ignoring people who are saying hi. We just want to get to the questions and comments. So leave a question or comment and we'll get to you that way. Taylor's gone. What are your views on the future of the human race on overpopulation? And how can we help fix it?
Well, actually, the problem is underpopulation. Come on, look at
underpopulation.
Look at the birth rate. Look, Japan is already going down. The only reason we're not the
well, Africa's going to have 3 billion.
Immigration.
Well, Africa's projected to have 3 billion.
Yeah, I know. That's the problem. You got population is booming in the poorest parts of the world and dropping in the wealthiest parts. It's not going to turn out well. I don't think overpopulation is the problem. I mean, look at Australia, for heaven's sake. I mean, I've got this land, 100 acres, which we're turning into a food forest. You know, we get, as cattle, you get about between 2 and 4 tonnes per acre of product. You put the right kind of trees in place and you're getting 200 to 400 tonnes per acre of food. Australia is so underpopulated in terms of the fertility of the land. Now, I think we can have a great environment with a lot more people in this country if we start eating the right kind of food and get coffee and cattle and all kinds of bad things like that. We could do so well.
Bring the steaks and the lattes on, I say. But how would you fix it else, Jim? So what would you do to encourage young people to have families then, maybe? That's the thing, right?
Well, actually, that's part of my research project. That I think the reason people are not having families is because their pheromones are getting stuffed up by too much wealth and urbanisation.
I think there's a thing called Tinder, maybe, that sort of comes in that. Is that in the equation?
No. wealth and urbanisation. Same thing happened in the Roman Empire.
Yep.
The population, in any wealthy urban society, the population tends to drop. People stop being interested in children. Apart from myself, of course. I'm excessively interested in children.
Well, you've done your bit 5 times.
I have done more than my bit. I thank you very much. I've got to make up for wankers like you who don't want children at all.
Being called a wank, I've never heard you call me that.
Well, come on.
There we go, so you're tuning away.
Populate or perish. I mean, goodness gracious, what about this guy? Perish is no question when it comes to John Kleber, that's for sure.
Yes, that's a new one. There you go. That's why you can tell it's live. You got Jim saying wanker on a live.
I think it's a swear word. Is it a swear word? Am I supposed to say that kind of thing? I don't use the F word.
I don't mind it. I think people would mind you calling me a wanker.
On a second date, my wife Lee, well, she wasn't my wife then. On my second date, obviously, she used the SH word, and I said, "What are you saying?" She said, "I thought that was just normal language." I said, "No, swearing, you can't say that."
I think a lot of people would agree if you call me that, Jim, so don't worry about that. A lot of the girls in the office anyway. So Jasper Merritt's going, hey, Jim, do you watch the BBL? Do you know what the BBL stands for?
I have no idea.
That's the cricket, and the answer is no, Jasper.
I do not watch cricket. I do not watch sport. I do not watch anything. Apart from playing squash extremely badly, I have very little to do with sport.
So Balcom Brothers...
Sorry. Another reason I would never make a politician. I can't even pretend to be interested.
I couldn't imagine you going
boring.
To the game.
I mean, cricket is the most boring game in the world. And as for Australian rules, aerial ping pong. I mean, say no more. I mean,
aerial ping pong.
Aerial ping pong.
Well, if you did,
it's not even as entertaining as real ping pong.
Oh, well, if you did play, Jim, what position would you be?
I have no idea what the positions are. How could I answer that question? I have never in my life been to an AFL game. They took me to a VFL one back when I was about 10. That was it. That was it from life. I hadn't. I was rumoured to be a fanatical Richmond supporter, but only because we sponsored them. It was pure business.
And I'm glad you're not a Richmond supporter.
Inviting me to the president lunches and stuff, and I never went. I don't watch the bloody game football. You've got to be joking.
There we go. So there's a lot of questions and comments coming. So Malcolm Bradley's gone. He's from Test and Tag. Jim's ice cream truck. Jim's ice cream truck would obviously do it.
Yeah, possibly. I tell you what, I really do like the services that we do the best. Things like the flooring and the roofing and the fencing and the handyman, the mowing, the cleaning. Those kind of simple, basic manual jobs. They're the best. We try other things that work quite as well. A mobile coffee is going, but one person. That's Eric.
And David McDonald's going, nothing like climbing over a 50-metre concrete grain elevator or water tower. You don't get views like that cleaning houses.
Absolutely. Well. Yes.
I don't think many people get views doing whatever they're doing that. But that's a good one.
Yeah, I always thought trees would be good too, actually. I mean, up in here, very, very, very masculine, very manly. I don't know. I like those kind of macho kind of jobs. I mean, in a different world, I'd be a firefighter or something like that too. I reckon that's good.
And John Talise has gone Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. John Talise, I think it's a first-time commenter.
Yes.
So I read that out. Is that another?
That's the Mormons.
That's the Mormons.
That's their official name. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Okay.
Mormon is a slang term.
Okay, so we're catching up all the comments now because it's been great. There's so many questions and stuff coming through, which is great. People are posting stuff. We're not ignoring them. Jasper Marriott's gone, what are your thoughts on the media's view on Christianity? That's an interesting one. I like that one. For
you? It does depend on the media you watch. Yeah. I mean, we had this discussion during the week, and you're saying how Scott Morrison is being blasted by the media. I said, well, that's because you read social media. I actually tend to do things like The Australian. And they have a very different view.
The Australian, all the baby boomers who've got all the 5 houses, and I don't know, they're not in touch with the real world.
The sensible, rational reason.
No,
who actually not build the wealth of this country.
No,
unlike these
not.
Flaky, lefty, greeny airheads and so forth, which tend to love, the ABC and.
Oh, you're talking about Ben, our producer, in the background off camera. He's probably one of them.
Well, look at him with that long hair like that. You had to be one of those characters, wouldn't you? I mean, honestly, you can tell at a glance.
So another one is...
I mean, I haven't got long hair. I haven't got much hair any kind short, but it's cut short.
We're saying,
my wife cuts my hair.
Well, maybe he's saying, do you think the media is starting to have a crack at Christianity now?
Well, because
I think it's well deserved.
The trend of the country is against us, of course. We're a small minority.
Well, you guys used to be against everyone back in the day who didn't agree with you, so I think it's good to get one back in after hundreds of years of persecution.
No, I think that was a better system.
No, definitely not. I think it's good to get one back in them.
Yeah.
Get one back in them. So Mitchell Gifford's gone, Jim's mobile mechanic. Yes, we do have mobile mechanics. Mitchell Gifford's goes, do you have a laugh at all the Jim's memes floating around, ? First time viewer?
Yeah, we have a lot of fun with those. We have a lot of fun.
We run a competition on, you can actually go to the website
and you can see my favourite ones like Snow White and the 7 Gyms and those kind of ones. I thought that Jim's Hitman was the best one. I really like that one.
I know, a lot of people are saying about the Jim's private militia with the Irans. I won't go into it, but there was a few comments on there.
Yes.
Okay, so we're going. Eric Jurgen's gone, I feel that he had poor advisors. He came back as soon as he was able to. How soon would you have come back, Joel, if something bad happened while Jim's while you were away? It depends what it is. Yeah. If it was something drastic, I would have come back.
Well, we had that case where one of the VIP guys beat up a lollipop man too. And we were talking about that at the office. I said the first thing I would have done is gone and seen the guy directly and apologised to him and done whatever I could for him. I thought it was, you've got to get involved if something bad happens. Like you've got to be there with the people concerned. You've got to be seen to be. You've got to do the right thing too. If one of your people have done the wrong thing, then I'm responsible and I should take I should take action and see what we need to do for the guy.
And then Jasper's gone in with an opposing view. I think ScoMo has done a completely wrong thing, but I think he has been taking way too much flack, seeming as the position is hard to do anything to help.
The way it's all spoken is if by having a holiday in Hawaii, he's personally responsible for all the fires. Well, that's garbage. There's nothing you could do anyway. It's a purely a matter of a gesture. What he should do is try and establish some national leadership to do something so we don't have these dreadful fires in the future, which is very difficult too, because it's nothing much to do with the federal government anyway.
It's state and local.
They got less control than anybody. It's the local government's the ones that are saying we want the whole of the state and the country to be a tinderbox that goes up the first spark.
I think the state premiers are sort of going, well, I'm glad he's a scapegoat, right? Because the state premiers is well have a lot to answer for local governments.
They're getting nothing.
So... And he's going, I'm sure he'll donate a lot of his money, that one there. Taylor Downs has gone, cricket is so boring. I know Jim.
Yes. Well, a fellow human being.
A fellow human being, mate. More people. Mate, India is obsessed with cricket. It's one of the biggest sports in the world in terms of viewership.
I know that. Well, I mean, I have a lot of respect for Indians in other ways.
I love their cricket, so it's good. Jason Pollock's gone, I believe that it's time to get a pay rise for the name calling, Joel. I'm sure people agree with Jim name calling me Jason. So
he is excessively overpaid already. In fact, I'm thinking of giving him a pay cut.
I've been called a wanker now, so he's going to pay cut. He's no problem. And he's gone. Jason Pollock's gone. I'd fly back if something happened to my FSCs. I believe you would, Jason, as well. Yeah. There's a lot of logos going.
We certainly would. If there's any issue, we'd be very sensitive to adapt to that. Mind you, I hate flying anyway, so I'm always here.
That's true. But I think the point is, Eric. I think Jim's as a beast would be fine if I didn't come back. I'd be taking pictures of temples in wherever I was, but I think if something drastic, definitely cut short a holiday. If you were the leader of the organisation, I think the point's the leader. You can have all but I think it's the leader, the CEO or the head of the thing.
You've got to be there. Mind you, I hate holidays anyway. So we were going down to the beach for a few days after Christmas.
You came back early, didn't you?
Well, we were going to go for this. So we went on the 26th. We're going to stay to the 3rd. By the 30th, I was fed up with it. I said, too much beach. Come on, I want to get back.
You didn't even go to the beach, did you?
Did
you go to the water?
No, I did. Not to the water. Yeah. We just walked along. I walked along the beach. I had a few good long walks along the beach.
Did you put your feet? You didn't get in the water at all?
No, I didn't. I like the beach.
And Eric Jerkins.
Better in the winter.
And Eric Jerkins is going to speak to HR. Just letting you know a secret, Eric. We don't have HR. Jim is HR. So, Jim, if the HR person is calling you you can't do much about it.
Yeah. Now, listen. If I had a decent HR department, would I hire this guy? I mean,
I slipped through the cracks. I'll be lucky. I slipped through the cracks. Then Anna Farage has gone. There's a lot of divisions with gyms. Are you thinking of starting more divisions? And if so, what might they be?
Well, look,
I think services is the way to go.
If somebody comes to us with a good idea, we'll do it. Of course. We got just somebody from Jim's Waterproofing just contacted us today. So if it's a good business and if it's a good leader, yeah, we'd look at that.
Leadership's the main thing, though, isn't it? They're a good division.
Having the right person. The divisions that work are the divisions with great leaders, like Hadar in cleaning and Sharon in dog wash and Paul Comerford in building inspections and Brett in pool care. You know, you got a great leader. The division will work well because they have that kind of spirit. They care about their people. They know how to organise them and get them dynamised and
we've got exciting things coming up regarding those people you mentioned, don't we? I'm not going to go into it too much, but
we do.
It's going to be exciting. It's going to be something cool. Yeah, it's going to be exciting. So what we'll do then, guys, is we're going to let everyone know that next week we're going to have some massive prizes, most likely. If approved, it will be approved, but they're huge. And what I mean by that is, and the way they're going to be awarded is we want people interacting as much. The comments and the questions tonight have been really, really, really good, and we really appreciate all the comments and interactions. We're not ignoring people; we're just trying to get through as much as we can. So next week the prizes I'll announce them during the week because they're going to be massive. Those 3 or 4 prizes are going to be huge. So tonight we're going to award these, which were the cob loaf delivery and the jumper. Now, was there any questions or comments that you liked in particular?
Well, I think the one about Iran was good.
All right, well, that's Tim. I actually did have him down, so you got to let me know. Well, I don't know what sizes you guys are, so maybe, Chris, you wanted to get the jumper, the cob loaf one. And I think I wrote down Taylor Downs for the other one. So, Taylor, you'll get this one here. And then for the book, I think we'll give that to Jasper as well. I think Jasper's not... I think they're young fellas who came from Instagram and other places, which is really, really good. But next week, Jim, we're going to do massive prizes, as I said. We've got the podcast on the fires and all that sort of stuff coming out tomorrow as well. Mm-hmm. So we'll leave it there, guys. It's been a great session. Thanks for your comments and interactions. Same time next week. As I said, you have to be watching next week to be eligible for those prizes. So you can't just go and do the thing and go away. You have to watch. We want you to watch and interact.
You've got to be one of the first to respond if it fits you.
And if you look at it as a quarter of an hour as a dollar rate, it's well worth your interest to do it. Absolutely it is.
You win.
All right, so we'll leave it there, guys. So thanks for tuning in this decade of the first Ask Jim. If you've got any questions or comments or ideas on how to improve Ask Jim, please let us know as well. So thanks, Jim, for that. That was a really good one.
Okay.
All right, see you guys. See you next week.